Hi, Bella.
Welcome, Anthony Hudson with you. A reasonable turnout for this match. Here today, the clash.
Please like the stream if you haven't.
The banners are ready for the players.
The Magpies' defence has a big job today. If they can stop the opposition forwards from getting a few chances early, it goes a long way to winning this game.
The captains make their way into the middle for the toss. Adelaide kicking to the right of screen. Here we go. Won the hit out. Well picked up. Grundy on the move now. Sinks the slipper into it. Dug out the loose ball. Goes with the kick. Moore takes the strong ball. A spearing kick. Steady hands there as he holds that one. Probing kick inside the 50. Drops the mark.
Awesome.
Thumps it clear. He gains possession. The umpire will ball it up. Anything standing out at the moment for you, Gaz?
There's some great skills on display right now. A great match.
Releases the handball. Sends it clear of the contest. The boundary line wins this race. Ball back into play. Grundy just slaps it down. There'll be a ball up close to goal. Guided down nicely by Grundy. Kelly gets the loose ball. There'll be a ball up close to goal. Only 4 minutes remaining. He wins possession, finds his man. Rushes with the kick. Great mark in the pack. Miller kicks it to the square. Gathered by Lynch with quick hands. Handballs to a teammate on the run. Took his eyes off the ball. Collects the loose ball. Handballs under pressure. Hacking it out of there. Hands that ball to the opposition. Ball collected. Neither side posting a score so far. Umpire ready to resume play. One down by Myercheck. Wins the race to the ball. Unable to create the space.
Showing some really good pressure there.
We'll have another ball up. Big thump from Myercheck. Bounce works for Tagoe. Crouch collects the loose ball. Brown collects it. Maynard picks up the loose ball. Well collected. Walks the ball. Weighing up the options now. Scharenberg marks uncontested. Scharenberg kicks hard along the boundary line. Marks all alone. Out on the full. Adelaide fans would love to see this one sail through. 35 metres out. Looks like he might run around and open up the angle. He goes for broke. That kick hits the post. Langdon searching for a teammate. Good mark and looks to send it back. 45 metres out. Going for goal number one. Goes right through the line. Langdon assessing the options. Marking in space for Scharenberg. Keeps going. Sear had it, lost it. Proud there to mop up. Gives away a free. He drives it. Found space for an easy mark.
Adelaide capped the lead, but they're allowed plenty of opposition marks inside 50. They need to fix up that aspect of their game if they're to stay on top.
Just 2 minutes on the clock. The umpire will ball it up. What can you tell us at this stage, Gary?
I'm liking what I'm seeing at the moment, Hutto. A great game of footy.
It'll be a ball up. Grundy farmed it down. Gets the loose ball. Sear puts the foot down. Running hard to take that was Thomas.
Hey, Tom.
Collingwood fans getting excited.
Got it.
Gets his first. Gets some reward for his efforts. Collingwood deliver the first goal. Back in the middle. Has the rucks go at it. Punches it clear. Ball picked up. McKay hits him hard. Free kick. McKay goes with the kick. A great mark taken there. Moved on by Gibbs. Takes that one strongly. Walker, quick hands. Myercheck dug out the loose ball. Just put... Kick by Myercheck. Gathers it now. Brings it out of the pack. Time drying up with only a minute to go. 40 metres from home.
Yeah, it was good. Second in a row option it.
Drives it towards goal. Kick on the way.
I think I had him there.
Bring it back into play. Stabs at the kick.
I had him like fourth or something.
Collected by Cardigan. Does well to keep it in play. We'll have a ball up close to the boundary line. Clears the contest. Gets around the pressure. Wilson didn't mark it. Dishes it off. Sloan comes away with the ball.
Coaches love to see that kind of tackling pressure.
Main gets the ball out of heavy traffic. Kelly wins the foot race. Kicks hurriedly. Maynard couldn't keep his hands on it. Maynard shuts him down.
A great defense.
I think injuries would have played a part in that too.
Pendlebury releases it under pressure. Well taken at ground level. Hurried kick. Gets into some space to mark this. Stengel with an easy mark. With a driving kick. Plenty to analyse from the first quarter, Gas.
Adelaide should be pleased with how they've started. If they can build on that quarter, they'll be hard to stop.
What do you make of it all, Gas?
Collingwood are getting beaten around the contest. Rectifying that problem is key to them gaining control of this match.
Thanks, Gary.
I thought Taylor Adams probably should have been like 6 or 7. see what we can
Players
do.
ready to start the second quarter. The game is back underway. Grundy thumped it clear. Gets a quick kick away. Ball spills. Ball up calls. Can you tell us anything at the moment, Gags?
This is a classic game we've seen right now.
Finding the loose ball was Crouch. Sloan with a short hand pass. Fogarty uses his pace. Still finding a way through. He gives it a ride. That was sweet. They put through another. That's his first. Congratulated by his teammates. Adelaide is now 8.
It's great to watch, Hutto. Plenty of... Adelaide are leading the contested ball numbers. It's always the starting point for a coach to find how well they attack the contest.
We're back in the middle now. Thrashes it. Fighting hard was Crouch. Avoids the tackler. Doing well to intercept that kick.
Adelaide just aren't running for each other or creating space to work into. And as a result, they haven't been able to earn many set shots inside 50.
Drives the ball out of defence. Got hands to it. Crouch got the hands free. He decides to go for home. Can't quite snap through.
G'day, Graz.
Considering the options on the kick-in. Scharenberg gets in a good position. The ball goes out of bounds on the full. Key sets his sights on the goals. Slams it on the boot. Mychek drops the mark. Brown gets a quick kick away. Quickly onto the boot. Applies a bump. Scoops up the ball. Narrowly avoids the tackle. Couldn't keep the ball in play. Thrown in now. Mychek gets onto the ball. He's got the footy in his hands. Finds this and marks well. Plays on now. Thomas has it.
It's Josh Thomas.
Thomas moves it now.
Thomas inside.
Just gets it onto the boot. Drops the ball. Langdon had the pressure bearing down. Spent it before he earned it. Slams it onto the boot. Just 3 minutes to go.
You might be thinking I'm playing Evo, because I haven't played Evo for a while.
The loose ball picked up. Somehow got the ball out. Goes by hand. Quick hands. And they could be away here. Crocker picks it up. Drop punt through the goals. Easy. We're back in motion. Mychek thumps it clear. Just got the hands in the back there. Sloan drives the kick. The mark is taken by Kelly.
Adelaide are allowing too many marks inside the opposition forward 50. If they continue to get beaten in this area, they'll find it difficult to keep the lead.
Just put it on the boot. Fumbles the ball. Hardigan has resources out wide. Takes the mark. Decides to kick. The ball's supposed to Fogarty. Fogarty. Puts boot to ball. Scharenberg determined to reach the ball. What do you make of the game so far, Gary?
This is a great game, Hutto, and you can just sit back and enjoy it.
Couldn't quite with the mark. Picks up the loose ball. The umpire calls for the ball now. Thump clear. Manages to get a hand away. Handballs. At full stride, receives the handball. Outruns the tackler. A chance for Wilson. Kicks out of the congestion. Lost concentration for a moment. Couldn't take it. The loose ball scooped up. Grundy thrashes it. He's got the football now. Terrific mark. 20 metres out.
Will Hoskinelli will kick a goal.
Back in the middle now.
Hello there, whoever is watching.
Hands it out to open space. Ball up in the centre square. Hammers it. Takes possession. Wills unable to apply the tackle. Now it's a ball up. Grundy clears the contest. 60 seconds remaining now. Going for goal number one. Elliott puts it
Got
on.
it.
It hasn't always been. Adelaide grew on top, but are losing the contested position.
Centre bounce. Winning it was Grundy. Just manages to release the kick. Intercepted by Pendlebury.
Oh, fuck.
The kick from Duday. Maynard gathers it now. Gets it away under pressure. Side bottom kicks it. Grundy gets right in his face. Fantastic tackle. Just gets it under the boot. Seedsman runs after this one. Collected by Hoskinelli. What are your thoughts at the moment, Gaz?
You there, mate?
Yeah, I'm here. Jeez, what a Copeland trophy, huh?
Wilson gathers it. Puts on a mark. Turned it over. Hoskinelli.
That was great to watch.
What was that again, sorry?
The Copeland trophy, that was great to watch.
Yeah, no, it definitely was. Yeah, a couple surprises. I mean, I wasn't shocked that Saidi was in the top 5, but because even though people thought that he had a bad year, but he just had an average Saidi year, really, if anything.
Yeah.
Back in the middle to resume play.
Yeah.
Punched away. Hoskinelli misses the tackle. He's leading the ranking points.
The opposition need to get a hold of it.
Pops up the loose ball. Farko, probing kick inside the 50.
That's alright. Like, I'm surprised they didn't do the women's as well. The AFLW.
Well, they would have already had theirs done, wouldn't they?
Oh, probably, you'd think.
So is there any news that I missed at all today? Because I don't think there was really much that happened today, I don't think.
Well, a couple deals got done today.
Yeah, oh yeah, like as a whole, yeah, there was Chol and
Cho and Jake Kelly.
Yeah.
There are rumours going around. Apparently, the Bulldogs ruckman might go to North Melbourne.
What, Tim English?
Not Tim English, the young kid.
At Bulldogs.
Yeah. Young, I think it is.
Oh, yeah. Lewis Young.
Yeah.
Isn't he like a key defender though?
Key defender or ruckman, I think, might have been.
Yeah, he was like a key defender, but in the final series they like threw him in the ruck because I don't know, for some reason they thought a ruckman wasn't important to them, so they just chucked in Young in there. I think. I don't know the whole story around it because I didn't pay too much attention to it, but that's the vibe I got at least.
No, there was a fair bit of chat about the captaincy for next season.
Yeah.
I do think Darcy Moore, should captain, only
Yeah.
because I think with Pendle's taking over, I think that if you want to have like a Taylor Adams or a Darcy Moore taking over, they only got like a couple years left in playing. So for Taylor Adams,
Yeah.
it's what, 28, turn 29. So he'll have like 2 or 3 years left in him at captain. And do you want to have 2 or 3 years as captain and then swap it again? I think he'll rather give it to Darcy Moore because he's a younger player. He can help develop, and you can still have your leaders as well.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's the
that's
thing.
how I see
That's
it.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. That's how you'd probably go about it too. Yeah, it's an interesting one because you can kind of go either way with it, but um, yeah, I'm not too sure how to personally go about it actually, but because it's one of those like maybe it's I mean it is important, but then it's kind of not in the sense where it regardless on how it happens, if Darcy Moore is captain, if he's only on the park for say a dozen games this year, so let's say 10 games he's not there. It's just it's not that it's like a bad look that is like, oh my god, like captain's not there, but it's something to
I guess the injuries are part of the game.
yeah.
I think that's where our supporters just got to get their head out there on us about it and say, well, you know what? Like, did you say the same thing about Pendles? No, you didn't.
But the difference between the two is that obviously going into a Pendles was that consistent type player. Like that's why when it comes to say, for me personally, how I always keep putting up Crisp's name because it's
He's
you know
Mr.
it's
Consistent.
yeah, like he's Mr. Consistent. You never get a bad game out of him. And when it comes to playing, like I think he's to be honest, I don't think he has missed ever since he's turned up. So yeah, it's just and that's not saying that a player like that can miss I don't know, say half a dozen games, and that's not an issue, but it's
You want to
just
have your captain out there
yeah,
consistently.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You want to have your captain out there every week, so it's not necessarily a dig at more. It's just that from a looks perspective, it doesn't look as good if you have your captain on the bench because he's injured all the time. But that's the thing. Like, if the captain gets injured and say he just tears a minor hamstring or something, that's not the end of the world, and
No,
that's
it's
just
not.
something you just live with. With um, but with more how he's having injury, a history with injury, it's just a little bit more of a how do I put this like. It's just concerning because of his history,
Yeah, I know.
and again, it's such a minor thing, but it's a small thing that can go a long way.
Oh, yeah.
About to resume hostilities. Thump clear. Grundy is blowing hard after that effort. And the ball bounces across the
But
Oh,
I
line.
actually,
think,
I was actually just on Twitter before, and someone was asked, someone I think said to me that what did well, I guess what was my thoughts on what we would get because age would play a factor, and then he like asked me how old Thomas was. I just found out it's actually Thomas's birthday today. So it's his birthday today and he turned 30, so
29,
kind of
fucking
took
hell,
me
that's
by
pretty
surprise.
good. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he's turned 30, so yeah, not too sure how that goes with free agency and stuff, but hey, if we can get a pick in the early 30s or late 20s, that'd be perfect. Because what was it Chol that got pick 38? I think he got like pick 38 because I know Kelly got a worse pick, even though it should be flipped around. But you know, I guess that's just how it goes, I guess. But yeah, yeah, I wonder what Thomas would get through free agency.
Okay.
So I guess what's your thoughts on who plays seniors and who plays in the VFL?
Well, I think it was
Because I know
great.
someone like a Cal. Because I know someone like a Cal. I feel like if you had to put a poll, the majority of people would think that he would play VFL. Um, but I feel like he should be playing AFL, but I don't. Like, it kind of depends like where he's at because I feel like he needs to be in the centre because that's where he plays his best footy.
Yeah.
And with obviously, especially if Adams, Jesus Christ, if Taylor Adams is going to be obviously
Hi,
injury
Shannon.
free and there's going to be in the centre, it's because you can't really have him on the wing. Like he doesn't, like he has a little bit of speed, but like I think you got guys like Hoskinelli that just do that role way too well. Um, like personally, but yeah, it kind of feels like he needs to basically be in the centre. Um, I mean, you could probably maybe try him around half four, but I mean, we've tried that before and it just hasn't worked. So I'm just thinking maybe do we just put him in the VFL, chuck him in the VFL centre,
Oh, you probably
and
might.
just let him get some form going because like you can't really put him anywhere else. But then on the other side of things too, with these brother, like I feel like we're waiting for Tyler's breakout season, and it could be this season coming up, but then again, it could be the season after.
Oh, definitely.
Because again, he's like, I feel like he won't play his best footy until he fills his body out, and the only way he does that is obviously getting a couple of free seasons under him and filling out his body.
Oh,
So
shit, yeah.
whether Because personally, like I see him as an outside mid at the moment, but I could potentially see him as an inside mid
Thomas
when he
may be a
bulks up.
Thomas may be a fourth round compensation. What do you think of that? That's what
I
Tom said.
mean, in terms of a trade, that seems about right. But if we look at what Kelly got and what Chol got, you know, we're looking at early third round, late second round. So, um, and I know when it comes to the compensation picks, like there's a lot of factors. Like it's how much money have they been on? What's their age? I don't know if it's like if they've been delisted, if that comes into it, if that's a factor or not. But when it comes to all the calculations, there's a whole bunch of things that get calculated up. Because I mean, we even spoke about whenever it was about when Frawley went to Hawthorn and Melbourne got like I think like pick 2 or something. People were like, oh, like what the hell is going on here? Like Frawley's not worth a pick 2. But it was just his contract. Probably his age as well, because I think he was like maybe 25 or 26. Maybe, I mean, I'm going to be guessing, but he definitely wasn't like in his 30, he definitely wasn't 30. Um, and then I think when he was at Melbourne, he was getting like 600k a year, which, also helps as well when it comes to calculating all, how big of a loss he is to Melbourne, so, yeah. But I'd imagine Thomas wouldn't be on too much money though, that's the thing, because if you think about the whole, he tried to get his career up and running when he started, because he's been here since 2009, I
definitely.
want to say.
Yeah.
So he's been trying to get his career up and going. Then you had the scandal with the whole the steak and stuff and the drug scandal, and um, so then he basically got delisted, then got rookied and all that. So I wonder if that plays a bit of a factor to it. But I mean, if we're talking on like talent and stuff, and we're talking in terms of someone like a Jay Kelly and a Chol, I mean, Tom stands up um, amongst those guys for sure. So so maybe you get like a mid third round or late third round, but if they're giving out all that to those guys, I can't imagine Thomas getting much less than that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, there you go. Someone has confirmed it. He hasn't. So since he's come over from Brisbane, he hasn't missed any games. So there you go. Because I was about to say, I can't think of the game he's missed.
Yeah, pretty much.
And by the sound of things, it looks like Naisha's, practically got half a foot through the door at Collingwood. So that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
Because even I'm on AFL Evolution at the moment, and it's saying he's a general defender. Wouldn't necessarily. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess you could. I mean, he's probably a defender in the same bracket as Quainer and Noble. But I don't know. I rate his foot skills. I reckon he's got a good kick on him. He's got a bit of speed. I know in his draft, he had kicked a couple of goals, like not like a whole heap,
Yeah.
but enough to where you could say, okay, this guy could develop as a little bit of a midfielder that could kick goals, but yeah. But then again, if we're getting him as a delisted free agent, he'll come as bad as cheap as half a bag of chips. So. I'd imagine that would be yeah, and by all reports, Fly wants him in. The only thing that's holding the club back, if there is anything, is that apparently there was rumours that Wright wasn't too keen on him, but as long as he's putting pressure on guys like Noble and Quainer for their spots, that's really all he has to do really. Everything else will work itself out after that. Mm. Oh, and I've been watching Sierra highlights for the last like 2 days, and probably haven't changed my mind on it because I feel like that attitude issue is still a bit of an issue. Um, but I've cooled off on it in terms of if he stays. I feel if Fly thinks he can do something with him, then I'm confident that something can happen from him, I guess.
bloody hell. Alright, sorry about that. Whew.
No, all good. Everything all good though?
Yeah, I'll tell you off chat.
Yeah, I was literally in the middle of sending you a message saying if you're okay.
That's alright. I don't
Mm.
want to say it on stream. So.
Yeah, no, it's fine. No. That's completely your call. Trying to remember what we were talking about.
Oh,
I
about
think we were talking about Sia.
yeah.
Yeah, and just basically I was just saying that
Cause
like I've been
Sidebottom
watching
had it.
like what's that?
Sidebottom got top 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Sidebottom was I think it was top 5. I don't know.
Yeah, when Sidebottom, what Penalty was third? Who was below him?
I think it might have been, who else?
I should know this. I literally saw it like not even an hour ago. Um,
Punched away. Wills onto the ball.
wasn't Grundy,
The umpire calls for it.
wasn't Moore.
Not by margin. Scoops it up.
DeGoey, that's it.
Yeah.
Why, why was I struggling with that one? Yeah, so it was Sidebottom, DeGoey, Penalty, Maynard, and Chris
I thought he was going to get first, I thought.
DeGoey.
Yeah.
Nah, I think because when it comes to things like the Copeland and you got like people inside the club,
Only 60 seconds
you
remaining.
you always have your underrated players get votes.
Really making
So someone like a Chris, even though in the Brownlow he probably didn't do probably as well as what we thought. But when you have guys at the club then voting, actually see guys like Chris going week in, week out, he was always going to get votes.
Yeah, well,
And I'm
that's
sure
it.
DeGoey's second half would have been a lot better than his first, but that's just how it went.
finds a bit of room to mark. Oscanelli puts it on the
But no, I can very easily see DeGoey being in the top 10 for the Brownlow, let alone the rest and first.
They can create from there.
Next year if he plays all the games
Nice work from Wilson.
and we play the way that we know he can play in the midfield, expect him to
Wilson has
be.
resources out wide.
I'm
Good
not going to go out and say that he'll win it, but
Grundy kicks it.
I'd be shocked if he's outside the top 10 with how he goes about it.
Off hands. Duda wins the
Did they even show the top 10? I didn't actually see it.
Yeah, no, someone posted it on Twitter. Moore was about 7. I'll try and find it because I know you'll put it out because I know I liked it.
The unpredictability of football continues. What a result we had today. Barry, any final thoughts?
I'll check it out then.
They'll be loving this result.
Yeah, someone posted it on Twitter. I don't think it was anyone official. I think it was like a fan that did it though.
Final scores.
Yeah, Checkers won the leading goal kicker award.
We had time for. Thanks for joining us.
Um,
It's been my pleasure, Hutto, and we look forward to having everyone back soon.
shouldn't have to scroll down too far, surely. Here we go. So Chris won it with 90 votes. Maynard won it with, Maynard came second with 70, so he was 20 short. Then three votes short of that, there was Penderbury. A vote short of that was DeGoey. So DeGoey was a vote short of getting third. Then below DeGoey, another, seven less than DeGoey was Cyber with 59. And then in the bottom half, you got Brody Grundy was 2 votes away from Sidebottom with 57. Moore was 3 votes behind him with 54. Quainer was 2 votes behind Moore with 52. In fact, actually, Quainer and Roughhead tied with 52, actually, now I'm seeing that. And Chris Main came 10th with 48, so he was 4 behind Quainer and Jordan Roughhead. So the bottom half of that was Grundy, Moore, Quainer, Roughhead, and Main.
Should be interesting.
How awesome! How awesome would it have been if Quainer got top 5? That would have been awesome. Because he was only what 7 off. If he got another 7 votes, he would have tied for 5th. That would have been awesome to see. So how do we do our like best and fairest? Is it do we go to 3 votes or do we go to 5 votes? Yeah, I'm not too sure how it all works.
Not too sure. To be brutally honest.
Well, the fact that Chris got 90 votes, you can't do that in a 3.3 voting system or a 1, 2, 3 system. Otherwise, he'd be best on ground like pretty much every week. In fact, I don't even think you would get 90 if you were best on ground every week.
Oh, definitely.
Maybe it's like a top 10, maybe, and then you get votes through that.
Alright. Now, who else is on AFL?
Yeah, back on the Sire talk as well. It's yeah, I've been watching his highlights the last like 2 days, and I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, his attitude is still an issue, and it still annoys me. But I think the only thing that makes me like half interested in keeping him is that Fly can turn him around. Because if Fly can turn him around, and we can get him back to his 2018 form, like to get 100 how tall is he? 191 centimeters.
How about that?
Yeah, and like you get him as and the other thing too, like he's ready to go as well. Like he's got the body ready for it. Because he's 23 now. He can also play. He can basically be that sort of rover that plays center as well. So if he plays that role, you've essentially got a rover as a player that plays centre, which is not, the most. Actually, yeah, I think the answer to that, Tom. I think Brown probably has to be that player. But
Yeah,
that
I
is
think the
something
same
where
as
we
well.
don't have anyone. We don't really have anybody specifically that's like, because like a center player and like a rover and a winger, they're all 3 different roles. Like they're all 3 different jobs. And also in terms of that too, there's a lot of requirements needed to play center too. Like center is that inside mid that goes in there and then just pumps the ball. And then dishes it out to the outside mid that makes the outside mid look good. And if you've got, someone playing center and, not saying that, players would be scared of the ball, but like, you just, as someone that plays centre, you need someone that just doesn't flinch. Because, like, the second you flinch, you know, you can look pretty bad pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think
Um,
that's about it, realistically.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can see Sia, if Sia stays, I can, because that's, the thing is that if Sia gets his attitude right, he's a very good player for us. But that's his issue. And at this point, if Fly just not the Fly has to come out and say anything, but if Fly goes, yep, all right, I reckon I can turn this, I reckon I can turn this kid into something, or I reckon I can kick this kid up the arse a few times, and you know we might be able to get something out of him. Um, like he may become something, and if yeah, at this point, because I mean the club is done so well at this point, I'm just happy to go whatever the club does. I'm happy to back the club in because I haven't steered us wrong yet. Um, and yeah, if that means keeping Sia, I'm pretty sure though that the writing on the wall is there for Cox though. Like, there's no chance in hell that he's gonna be on our list. Um,
100%.
because you basically just got Darcy Cameron now. Darcy Cameron's the 2022 Cox. So, which yeah, if that's the way they go, that's the way they go. But yeah, it seems because you got Darcy Cameron there, I think it makes it really hard to. And because also as well, you had Derek Hines say that you know we're going after a Judd demographic as well, which is basically a not a shot, but it's basically just saying you know when someone like Cox is at the age of 30 and there's an age demographic. It's very clear that obviously that they're trying to not push him out, but they're just saying to someone like a Cox that yeah, your time's up, mate. So um, yeah, it's because even like the other day I was hopeful of like maybe keeping Cox because again like he can have the potential to tear games apart when you're young, but. I think it's just at this point where we just have to accept the fact that Cox won't be there next year.
Hi, Judd, how are you, mate? Nah, it's fine, man.
Which yeah, which from a common point of view and as a supporter, like you know, like it's sucks to have that as a realization, but because at the end of the day, regardless if you like Cox, don't like Cox or whatever, you're lying to me if you've seen him play and you don't get if you've seen Cox play and you haven't either been one just mesmerised with how well he's done, or two just laughing at his bloopers, you're lying. Because like even when Cox like screws up, it's like the most entertaining thing you can watch. You know, like the time when I think we played like Geelong and like he was like trying to keep the ball in and he just like throws it back into play. Like mate, you can't do that. Like you know, there are things like that where um, I think those are probably one of the things I'm probably going to miss about him, but at the same time, I think it's probably necessary that he probably does go. Because I think the thing that probably puts it in the most simplest terms is that if he doesn't go, somebody else has to. And, you know, who else are you willing to let go to keep Cox? And that's, at the end of the day, that answer is probably nobody. Like, as much as I probably not that I don't like Cameron, I just don't rate him personally, but at the same time, like, I think it's very clear that, you know, if someone goes up to you and says, alright, you can pick one, Cox or Cameron, I think it's clear that you'd pick Cameron at this point.
Oh, yeah, pretty much.
resume play. Grundy slaps it away. Zorko gets the loose ball. Contest the hard ball. And we'll get a ball up. What do you make of the game so far, Gary?
It's a really entertaining game of football.
Oscar Nelly doesn't make the tackle.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, that was yeah. Luca was saying that with Checkers, he'd been here for 4 years, and apparently that was his third
Copeland,
yeah,
leading goal kicker, yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. Like just to think about it, like a dude we got off the rookie list,
A
like
big
won that award 3 years in a row. Like in 4 years he's been here, he's won that award 3 times.
I don't have Fortnite, Judd.
You can get Fortnite though, because it is free.
Yeah, I know. But
Yeah. Actually, one of the games I'm looking to play soon is Alan Wake. That's gonna come out in 3 days, I think. I think it comes out on Tuesday.
okay.
My, if I've got my energy back up and running, feeling a little bit better tonight. Just I just had like a really bad headache today. Like just knocking me out for the whole day. But brand new game, so it should be fresh and ready to go in terms of popularity and stuff like that. Yeah, I wouldn't mind giving it a crack because it's a game I mean, I've played it, but I only played I think an hour or so when it originally came out. So to get like a full remaster of it, and from all reports it's 4K 60 frames a second, so yeah, put that on the Let's Play series and I reckon I'd have a pretty good time with it.
Got it. What's that, Judd? Enough. Oh, congratulations.
Oh, that's good. Well, you'd like to think that the PS5 should be available by June. Well, you'd hope so. But no, they've been really struggling to stock that.
Oh, absolutely.
Because normally it's always, I think the worst one prior to PS5, and because you can't even get the Xbox at the moment either. I think the worst one prior to this was I think the Wii, and the Wii was about 9 months, 12 months. But the fact that we're looking at like 18 months worth of, you know, not having it in stock. It's crazy that it's been that popular, but it's also a little bit of COVID has had some bit of doing with it as well too.
Yeah, it sort of does, pretty much.
Yeah, because I'm hoping to get an Xbox Series X, but it's not available at the moment. Well, that's actually not that bad of a turnaround. Because I know when I because when the PS5 had its announcement, um, I basically got my because it basically sold out like not even within 24 hours. But I got mine, um, and I think when did I get it? Because because I wanted to get like just because I'm lazy as hell and I can't be stuff moving consoles from one room to another. So I went to like different stores and bought one console at a time. So I went to I think JB, EB Games, and Amazon. That's the other thing too, guys. If you wanna get some good deals on physical copies of games, and especially as well because it's an online store, you don't have to go to the store itself. Amazon is a really good place to get games. And you can get games really cheap there too. Just as a shout out to Amazon, even though they probably don't need it because it's such a big brand at this point. Yeah, I'm not too sure if that's the case, Tom, but yeah. Then again, like, yeah, obviously I
It's
don't
probably
know their
not
system and
surprising
how
to
they
be
do things.
honest.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, but yeah. Actually, I've just thought of a topic to discuss. Where do you think Darcy Cameron should be playing next year? Whether if it's VFL, AFL, and whether it's forward or rock.
Um, if he plays AFL,
Yeah.
I think they'll play him forward rock. That's my suspicions.
Mm.
But he might play more in the VFL.
Yeah, personally, what I would want is for him to play V's. I wanted to play him as a ruck, especially if Lynch goes, because we're probably gonna need a ruckman that's ready to go and that's like in form.
Yep.
Um, that's my take on it. Yeah, because especially as exactly right, Tom. Because
If Grundy misses a few games, we're definitely going to need.
yeah, and that's like another one too. Because yeah, we're gonna have to essentially make some really hard calls and um. I personally don't want to get rid of Lynch, but it just seems like everywhere you look from is Lynch staying or going, everything's pointing to him being traded to a team. Um, so hope we get some value for him. Hope we get like at least I don't know. My gut says like that we'll probably get a third round for him, with maybe a couple of pick swaps, as well on top of it. But then I don't know. I feel like he did. I feel like he can warrant a second round pick, but that's just me personally.
No, absolutely. Like, it's gonna be real tough as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's going to be interesting because we've got Cameron, Checkers, Kruger, and Johnson all wanting the key forward spots. I feel like just because you've got Checkers and Johnson, you can have three. Um, so because especially with Johnson's basically a small forward, which is 193 centimeters. He's actually a lot more agile than what you would think at his size, and he's got like I know probably publicly, at least from like a Twitter front, I know Lockie's gone on about him so much, but I've watched just as much highlights as probably anybody going around at this point, and um, I have heard also as well when it comes to when they had a couple of intra-club matches towards the end of the season, the reports coming out with just how well his marking was. Like they thought his marking was like already good enough as it was, but apparently, according to the reports in the intra-club matches, it was even better. And then just his speed, and then his just ability to just be an X factor when games are tight. I think we've got a really, really good one in AJ. I can't wait for that kid to play. And he's I think 24, if not 25. So he's in that age bracket where he's ready to go. Just needs a bit. It just needs a full preseason and.
Umpire ready to resume play. Swanson, opportunity for Alice Yeoman.
Yeah, I tend to
Yeah,
agree
Kelly.
with Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly's an interesting one. I think we spoke about it yesterday or the day before. He's one of those ones where you just need to just put him in the VFL and you just sort of just have to. Even if it is, you just put him in the VFL and you just leave him there for the whole season. He may not like it, but that's probably what's best for him in terms of just how he's gonna go in the future because.
Oh shit,
He
yeah.
does, he does need a few more years to build up his body because he is fairly lanky. But you would think that when he builds up a bit of muscle and stuff, you would think that he wouldn't be as injury prone. Um, but I guess that's a watch this space. I guess because there's a lot of uncertainty around him. But in terms of if he can play, he can definitely play. He just needs to be on the park. So yeah, I would just say that unless if he's like showing something, unless if he's showing really good signs in the back half of the VFL season, and you know there's a specific need because I think he should if he's gonna play as a defender, he needs to be someone like a Jeremy Howe. Like he can't be a key back because he's just not tall enough, and his body's also not built for it either. Because as we know, with his body's already breaking down as it is. So if he plays similar to like a roughhead, who plays, I don't know how to put it, but basically how he plays like a statue, and he's more of a precise, like every movement is so precise and efficient. If Kelly doesn't have the body to play like that, he's just too lanky at the moment. Until he builds up a bit of muscle, we're just gonna have to wait for him to build up some muscle. But yeah, I thought he did really well when he played that half forward role. Um, did he have that game against Hawthorn this year or was it last year?
Not too sure.
Because I want to say it was last year.
Hang on, guys, just be
Like he,
patient.
what's that, sorry?
So I was gonna try and see if I can find the last year apparently. Just gonna try and see who got top 10. That's all.
Yeah. No, so with Kelly looked really good then. Because I don't think the question isn't is he going to be good enough. It's can he get his body right. That's his biggest question at the moment. But I mean, when you've got as many guys as we do, yeah, it was Aldo last year, and then it was I think it was a collarbone. And I think in his first year, didn't he do a shoulder or something?
I think so.
Yeah, so I guess we just need to wrap him up in cotton wool for now and just play him in the VFL and just see how he goes. But when he develops his body, I'm pretty confident he'll be a pretty good player for us.
It's a foot race to get this one. Lost concentration for a moment. Missed the target. Blending.
I'd like to give a big shout out to Brody Marchek
Fantastic chase.
for being the leading goal kicker.
Greenwood controlling.
He's been
Yeah,
a
for sure.
consistent player.
Uses it now.
Deserves it, to be honest.
With a loose ball. Collected by
Yeah, no
Barker.
doubt.
Catching it out of there. Takes a nice mark. May goes with the kick. Ball off hand. Picked off the deck. Racking up possessions now. The loose ball picked up. And the ball rolls over the boundary.
I wonder
Okay.
if we could, like, now I'm kind of thinking about it. I wonder if we could get away with 4 tolls.
I think that would be too
Probably
top
not.
heavy.
Yeah, probably. But that's the thing though. Like Checkers can play as a small forward, and so can AJ. So it's not as bad as what you originally think, and they're not they're not they're not like Darcy Cameron, like the Darcy Cameron version of a toll. And even like Kruger is sort of more of a hybrid of both. Like he's a key forward, but like he's not
Oh,
as sort of
100%.
like. But I feel
100%.
like, yeah, I feel like it wouldn't necessarily be the worst move you could make. Especially if you got, I don't know, if you come up against a team like Port Adelaide, maybe where their defenders are not very tall. I'd be very keen to see how they would go against someone like Port Adelaide. But yeah, it'd be interesting, that's for sure.
Could have 3 talls and 3 smalls. Yeah, I think against West Coast, you might be able to get away with it next season if Shanahan's still there. But you do have McGovern, and you do have...
Yeah, it is a tactic to go with 3 talls, because you have that 3rd tall. But that's the thing, when you got Checkers and you got AJ, they're not. Yeah, I think they're both 93 centimeters. But Checkers is like he's actually a really underrated, like a very he's small forward craft is actually very underrated. Like the fact how he can crumb packs, and you know he's very good with the snap. I haven't seen AJ do it too much because there hasn't been too much footage of him doing it, but considering what I've heard and what I've seen with his just X factor of the skills and just overall just all athleticism, I can definitely see, even though it's technically 4 talls, but they're not like genuine like key talls, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah.
You might be able to get away with it. And then if you have, because then the other side of it too is you kind of have to have Cameron in the side as well too, because who's going to be your second up? I mean, you could say Kruger, but I mean, are we giving Kruger too much to handle too early?
I think, if I were to be honest with you guys, let me know what you think. I think we're going to have a 2 tall forward line, I would say, and then have a resting ruckman who can push down and make the opposition ruckman defend. That's just what I think. Man, I don't know about you.
Well, I think it would make if we go after someone like a Stengel, it'll make it hard to go 4-12s because
Yeah.
you need someone like a Stengel in there because he is that genuine like if you want to get a guy that's like his best role is crumbing and just X factor of speed and all that stuff. Like that's his like specialty.
Oh yeah.
Um, and as well with Stengel, he's a bit more of a safer bet than most because he does have the AFL experience. When he was playing for Balls at Adelaide, he'd always pop up and kick two. Like, he's got all the tricks in the book to being your best 22. So he's the certainty. Good luck trying to convince people to get Jamie Elliott out of your side. Um,
No, we
you
have to
know,
play him. We gotta
yeah. So
play
you
him.
have to play him. I feel like with Finnevan, he's gonna have to play VFL just purely because there's just no spot for him, and he's just not. He's ready, but he's not ready. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I
If
think.
if if we have an injury, I'm more than happy to play him and confident he'll do well. But in saying that, if there are no injuries, he's probably not making the best 22.
Isn't the second year that young kids don't always do that well?
Yeah, they call it second year blues.
Yeah. So,
Um, which is probably why they'll probably put some of them in the VFL. Um, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do with it. Like I do feel like I do feel with when it comes to some of them like Finlay McRae, he's going to be extremely unlucky, but I can't see him being in the best 22 at the moment.
no.
When if there's no injuries, but then again, he's that guy. The second we get an injury, he's probably that one person that comes straight in. Like,
Hang on, man.
uh,
I'll get back and I'll.
yeah, yeah. But if there's any questions in the chat, if you guys want to ask any questions, please fire them away. Happy to answer any questions you guys have about Collingwood or just about anything really. If we've spoken about it on Kev's channel, yeah, fire away. Happy to answer them. Yeah, Rue is going to take some time. There's only a tiny bit of footage, and the only bit of footage we've seen is him doing a training drill with Brody Grundy. So it looks like they're trying to develop him as a ruckman. But in saying that, that's very early days, and I mean, I'm sure, Cox would have probably done the same thing when he came to the club. He is 18 as well, so, well, if he's not 18, he's 19, but he's definitely under 20. So, yeah, he's definitely going to be a project, but I can, I mean, I'm pretty confident that, we could probably get him to some level of competence. There's some highlights of him playing some basketball, um, and he's pretty good at that. And it just seemed like for a guy his height, he also had pretty good handles as well too. So for that, you would think that he would be able to move well on a football ground as well. But obviously, it's a watch this space at this point. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't necessarily rule out. Um, I wouldn't rule out Rude to playing AFL games at some point, but yeah, definitely, yeah, nothing before 2023, I'd imagine. In fact, even it'd probably be a more fairer bet to say he's going to play in the AFL OB 2024. Mm. But yeah, if you guys want to look at Rue's highlights of basketball, if you just type his name into YouTube, I'm sure you'll be able to see something. But yeah, that's at least it's something to look forward to in the next few years. Because yeah, I do feel he can probably make a difference at some point. But yeah, 2023 at the earliest, I'd imagine that he's going to be playing his first game.
Gets into a good position to take them. Andrews moves it now. Cox marks it. The clock ticks down with only 2 minutes left. The ball rolls over the boundary line. The umpire will throw it back in. Toss back into play. Thumped by Grundy. There'll be a ball up, close to goal. Thrashes it. He has the ball. Neal picks up the loose ball. I hope that's not serious. He looks to be in a lot of pain.
Yes, Aiden Beggar is definitely another prospect. As a because as a junior at TSC level, he was a ruckman that went forward. But because of his height, I can't really see him being a main ruckman, especially as well having competition with Brody Grundy for a spot. I'd imagine he's probably more in competitions with Cameron than probably Grundy at this point for that forward ruck spot. But yeah, no, I've heard great things about him as a ruckman and just his tap work and things like that. So I feel that's where he's going to be when he plays. I think I read somewhere too that I can't remember where I saw it, but I think somebody was putting out there that if if the AFL season wasn't affected by COVID, the draft prior to us picking him up in the mid-season draft, he was gonna apparently Begg was gonna go in like a top, like
Alright,
he was like a top
guys.
20 pick or something.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So, yeah, what's your thoughts on Aiden Begg?
My thoughts on him, he's another ruckman. He just need more size. Yeah, I think he might be a player in the future that we got to look at.
Yeah.
Um,
Langdon dug out the loose ball.
he might
I
play a
see,
few
I
games
see,
next
yeah.
season.
The ball
I
goes
see
For
so
sure.
much Darcy Moore in him though. Like, the way he moves so much like Darcy Moore, it's unreal.
at this stage, Gary.
Was Darcy when he? I know this might sound like a stupid question,
Receives the hand.
and I don't know the answer to this. But when he came to us, was he drafted as a forward or as a defender?
He was drafted as like a forward that went second ruck, I believe. He definitely was. He definitely played a bit of forward line for sure. And then I think he played a little bit of ruck, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay.
But I can look up his highlights, and I can give you the definitive answer on it.
Greenwood love kicking that
Yeah, I'm watching the highlights now. Yeah, he definitely was at the very least the forward. Trying to see if he's got any highlights near the centre of the ground.
Yeah, he did 2,000 more. Against the Bulldogs, wasn't it?
Punched away. Pendlebury must have double vision.
What's that he played a Rockman?
Just gets it
No,
over.
Darcy Moore.
A good mark under the
Yeah,
circumstances.
Time
in
goes
his draft.
forward, I think. Kick 5 in his third game. I think that would have been against the Bulldogs.
It's a foot race to get this one.
Yeah, I think he kicked. I think he kicked 5 in the game.
Where's the ball
yeah,
carried?
against the Bulldogs, I'm pretty
Um,
sure. Tom, can you confirm that?
was that the game where he kicked a whole bunch of goals early and then was like injured halfway through the third quarter? Was that game?
A West Coast game.
No, there was a game where he kicked like a, I don't know if it was like a bag of 5, but he kicked like a hell of a lot of goals early. But then like I think it was like halfway through the third, he was like taken off from memory, and he was like, I don't know if he was injured, but they just took him off.
Them up, looking to bring it back into
But
play.
I'd imagine if it was for anything, would have been for injury. But yeah, he kicked something like 5 goals in like just under 3.5 quarters. No, sorry, 2.5 quarters.
Here's the ball.
He did well.
Reads.
Oh, you did go to that game, Tom. Sweet.
What can you tell us, Gaz?
Tell you what, part of my disability,
Yeah,
Tom,
there
is
you
I
go.
can remember stuff like this that nobody else can remember. It's amazing.
Moved on by half. Right for this one. Gaz, what do you think about
Oh, God.
McCarthy on top of the ranking boys?
He's the most dominant player on the ground at the moment.
Yeah, there's parts where he's around the wing, but I don't know if that's just him being a forward moving up the ground.
Umpire
Oh
ready.
yeah, yeah, there's him kicking it into the forward line when he's in the centre.
And we're back in motion. Punches it clear.
But then again, that could have just been him being centre off forward though.
Congestion. Terrific mark there. To go. He pulls the trigger. On his way. Back in the middle now.
Brisbane are taking advantage of their ruckman's ability. It's giving them first use of the stoppages and forcing the
Oh,
opposition.
Pendlebury's got it.
Put that one through. Umpire ready to resume play. Anderson wins the race to the ball.
Yeah, it looked like he was a forward that was like a part-time ruck.
Finding the ball was Archie. Picked up under pressure. And the ball ends up over the
Oh,
line.
shit. I bet it starts scoring a goal.
We'll get the ball tossed back into play. The ball is coming back into play. Grundy just swats it away. Is in his possession. The ball knocked out in the tackle. Appleby with the interception.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think by the looks of things, yeah, if you had to nail him down to one position, he definitely plays forward.
An easy grab for Phillips. 45 metres out. The kick will be from a 45-degree angle. He gives it a ride.
Got it. Hull scores a level.
But there was some bits in his highlights where he was either on the wing or the centre of the
Punches
ground.
it clear. Gets on the end of this.
But that could have been, as I said, that could have been him being centre up forward and him pushing up. But
Looks to move it by foot.
Could I win the game? Scores are dead set level, I'm telling you.
Andrews going for distance with the kick. Broomhead grabs that.
Broomhead, gotta go long.
Decides to play on.
Does the Pendlebury.
Ball picked up. Kicked off the deck. Quickly onto the boot. Looks like the ball will be coming back. Tries to kick it. Gets the loose ball. Cleanly picked up. Pendlebury looking to put through.
Any score, dude?
The loose ball crosses the
Oh, shit. Could be it.
It's a big stage of this game.
ball. Tossed back in.
Oh no, I still got time. Why am I panicking?
There'll be a ball up. Close to goal.
yeah, you got what 3.5 minutes a quarter out of him?
5.
Now we've got a ball up.
Oh, well, yeah, there you go. You got the like at least a full couple minutes.
I honestly thought that I had less time. That's why I was panicking. Trelaw, good mark.
Oh, that's the goal, is it? Oh,
Yep,
that's definitely a goal then.
straight through the middle. It's
Oh,
amazing
wow.
on how I can come back from margins like this.
Mm.
Like you would have thought, no, no way. All of a sudden,
Mm. So yeah, I think when it comes to talking about Aiden Begg now, yeah, he'll be similar to more of a Darcy Cameron type. But yeah, from all reports, from what I heard from him when we picked him up, was that if COVID didn't hit and um, we didn't have a what's it called, a season affected, or like the season was affected through COVID, because a lot of draftees and stuff that go to get drafted, sometimes it doesn't take them till till the second half of their last year in the TAC Cup for the clubs to realise, oh damn, this kid actually really good. Like I think someone ended up mentioning, I think Clayton Oliver was an example. Apparently he wasn't any good till like the second half of his TAC
yeah, I've
year.
heard about that.
Yeah, and then they found out that he was actually decent. Um, and then can't remember where he went, but he was definitely a first round pick. I want to say he was in the top 10, but I could be wrong. So just goes to show you, I think that we don't fully understand
The
how
draft.
much, how much COVID has affected everybody, and
Oh,
like
100%.
everybody's like perception of players or things like that. So
And we gotta remember too, like, there was not much VFL for a few weeks, and they restarted it, and
yeah,
that was it. Like it. Do I wish
that was
COVID
the other.
wasn't here? Yeah, I do. I wish it wasn't. But the facts are that we have to get used to this.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh god, this could be a comeback and a half. Got that on the ball decision. Pendles
Mm.
straight down it.
Yeah, you just need to score now just to get yourself some breathing room.
I can afford to take my time now. Just go back, nail it.
Oh, Corrigan just taking that back to the hanger.
Got it. Yeah, Tom, the people are currently working to have the vaccine anyway. They made it mandatory.
Yeah, I know W came out and said that every player's had at least one dose or something, or
Good
could
on
have been
him.
both. Yeah.
Yes, I did it.
That's actually one thing that I'll actually give Doggies credit for at the moment, even though we're going to be butting heads in probably sometime next week when it comes to the Lipinski trade. But one thing I will applaud them for is, getting everyone vaccinated. So I'm definitely good on them.
Thanks for joining us. As always, it's been a pleasure. We look forward to seeing you back soon.
Well, thanks for having me. That's all we have time for. See you next time.
Yeah, I'll be getting my second dose on Tuesday, so I'll be all good with that. the mandatory stuff was only through the AFL system,
No,
wasn't
no,
it? Or was this like an all-round?
no, it's actually like construction and all that too.
So it's mandatory to
All the
like.
places now who are currently open, they have to have at least the first vaccine. They got to go and get their first vaccine or proving that they're going to get it.
Hmm.
Also check out Twitter, man. I've just uploaded the top 10 finish. I just saved that on Facebook just to post it up.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, what a win. Oh.
Yeah. But no, I've got mine on Tuesday, so not that you can be excited for it, but just glad I'm going to be a part of the people that are, because it is a touchy subject as well for some people, and it's very understandable, a very touchy subject. Because like, because I think the main thing, well, I mean, maybe I can only speak for myself in this point, but when you have people that are trying to tell you what's right and what's wrong, and there's clear evidence that they've had history, like a history of not necessarily telling the truth, it makes it really hard to believe what they think is right is the right thing, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Thank you, Bella. Appreciate that. Well done, Tom.
Yeah. And
30.
it's, yeah,
Yeah.
and like for me personally, I'm not obviously against the vaccines or anything. I just want to make sure whatever ones I get or people get are the right ones in terms of what they need.
Well, that's
So
what.
that's the issue at the hand basically is that where well, again I shouldn't speak about myself, but I'm not scared of getting the vaccine. I'm just like, well, not scared, but I'm just more worried that if I get a vaccine, if it's the right one for me. If that makes any sense. Yeah, but there's also I know from like my field of like work and stuff. I've had a lot of people speak to me about it in terms of like their concerns and issues, and I guess because of the area I work in, I get a lot of like opinions and thoughts where you wouldn't see them really anywhere else because it's got to do with like reasons from like a medical point of view.
Yeah.
Um, so it's and again you can imagine like their frustration too when they have politicians telling them, "Oh, this is the one you should get," when they've clearly got health issues in certain areas, and then they go to their doctor, and their doctor says, "Well, because of your health condition, you can't get this one, or this one's not best for you," or things like that. So
I think you get exemptions for that as well. You will definitely do.
yeah,
That's the case. Yeah, I know, Tom, but at least it protects you in some sort of way. Yes, please spell it as well. So in this game, right, guys, I was 30 points down at half time, and then I was 18, so I kicked 3 goals too, compared to 1-2. In the last quarter, I kicked 6 straight compared to 1 straight. That is a really good win. Fuck yeah.
yeah, because at the end of the day, it's not necessarily because at the end of the day, it's not a I'm happy to cooperate in terms of those things in terms of what's best. But at the same time, like the best thing in what may be for one isn't necessarily the best thing for others. Yeah, but I think it's just when it comes to it all, at the end of the day, the messaging of, especially when well, I guess we're all from the same area, so when it comes to say someone like Andrews who's running the state at the moment, the fact that he's saying, oh, whatever the quickest one you can get is the best one. I find that really frustrating and not probably offensive, but it's just the fact that we should just go after these things as if it's like, you know, some sunken treasure that hasn't, that was left in the ocean in the 1500s or whatever it was. You know, like, we shouldn't go like eager to just go out and get it, like, you know, do a bit of research, and especially for ones that do have, you know, reasons from a medical point of view to say, yeah, you can have, you know, said vaccine, but, you know, only this one.
That's
And I think
why.
just a little bit more like just taking a step back and just, you know, understanding that, yeah, people like, the issue is that some of the people don't want to do it. They just don't trust what's going on. And yeah, you gotta have your anti-vaxxers, and that's gonna be your thing, and that's, you know, that's the thing. But yeah, I, but at the same time, it's at the end of the day, like, you have a choice. I feel like at the end of the day, you should always have a choice.
I guess if you
Um,
have doubts, I think it's better to talk to a doctor that
yeah,
and just say, hey, look, what do you think of this? And you know, because the doctors can say, look, you know, you should be fine with this. Um, you know, that's how I always think of it. Ooh, 7 people in the chat tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Nearly 2 hours of streaming.
yep.
I'll tell you what, um, I was gonna watch the Copeland Trophy and stream this, but then Sweep Luke stream, did watch along for that, and it's just like, oh god.
Didn't he say that like 120 people watching or something at one point?
Yeah,
Crazy.
120 or 140 people. Because
Shout
I
out
was watching
to
it.
Sweet Luke, by the way, too. Yeah, nah, the whole the whole community is doing really well at the moment. It's great to see.
This turns into a shootout and becomes about which team holds up better defensively.
Like, even Lockie's got his own podcast up and had his first official video the other day. Like, it's all good things.
I know, he has. Mind, he did start his channel before me, so I think I know I'm gonna grow at some point, but it's all a matter of trying to eventually get there. So that's what I think as well.
Mm. Well, that's the thing. Like, you know, I, I think I've been pretty transparent with me coming back, because um, I started making YouTube. God, next year it'll be 10 years. In 2012. But I was like on and off, and, you know, obviously life happened here and there, and I think the thing that probably made me not get as popular was probably just, you know, the lack of consistency. And I would have like breaks within a few months where I just wouldn't post anything. But when it was on song, like, people were enjoying it. Yeah, it just needed to be a bit more consistent and needed to be a bit more variable. But yeah, at the end of the day, like, things happen, like, things like that happen for a reason, and um, you know, like, even at the time, like, I would have loved to have done something AFL related, but just never really fully knew what to do, because at that point, there was people were doing AFL content, but it wasn't as like laid out in terms of how to do it. Well, like these days it is. and it's done in the sense where there's a schedule you can do where it's just so simple in terms of the structure in terms of how to make videos.
Well, I think,
Of just,
yeah.
yeah, I'm just like, when it comes to making videos, it's just whatever videos you would make as a fan is the videos you make. So, putting out your tips, predictions, um, your review on the game. So just like how like a normal like movie review or video games review would be. Like all of that, it was always there, but like sort of someone had to go forward with it and to make it a thing.
I started, last year, and, I wasn't too sure if I was going to get this popular and this big so far. But one thing I've tried to do, if I were to be honest with you, Sean, about it, is that I wanted, when I did my previews and that, and even like reviews, like I wanted to try and talk about how we can try and stop the opposition team from scoring. So by watching how the team plays, then we can go, right, we know how St Kilda play, we just have to try and slow them down. With Geelong, we're going to have to play quick. So at times we're going to have to go quicker against the Saints and against Geelong as well. We just got to make sure that we don't make it a kick-heavy game.
Yeah.
And I think with the reviews, like I try and rate it out of 10. And I think you'll see as well, like I'm trying to get people to have their say. Because if it needs to be changed, I can change it. And they can go, okay, well, we'll make that a 6 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 as well. Like, I may not have the stats on me, but what I will try and do is I try and do it without having to do the stats and try and break down on how we can stop an opposition player, like who we need to tag, who we don't need to tag. And then do like Blue Board when he does play ratings videos, like out of 10. And that's what I do as well. Like I try to get that onto my channel. And at the end of the season, I just do play ratings videos and just rate them out of 10 for the whole season. So at least that way, you get a rough idea on how they played, what their role was throughout the season as well.
Yeah.
Do you guys like how I'm doing my videos or not? Because if you think I need to improve, guys, please tell me. I can take it.
Well, I mean, yeah, from my point of view, I think you're doing a good job.
I was going to do some videos yesterday, but mate, wet weather.
Yeah, but no, like all the people in our community at the moment have done such a good job at the moment, and yeah, it's good to see everyone doing well.
Well, my Blue Heavens started doing previews and reviews. Then Blue Ball came and he's taken over that, and then you got Pommy Noz, who does Carlton videos as well, and he does do like other things as well, like during the off season. So I think that's always a positive thing, and I think if you get people like that, you can pretty much, like, you're gonna get people watching your stuff as well, and that's how I see it. And I guess because I've added like my top, like last year I didn't add my top 5 games, on what I think will be good games and what I expect from Collingwood during the week, and I can talk about AFL content with other teams and why they're struggling as well. Even something like that, I reckon it would be handy because at the end of the day, it's just an opinion. Like, it's neither right or wrong, I think. And you can argue with people as well and say, no, look, mate, this is how it is. Because I know that Carlton fans, they've never done a rebuild before. You know what I mean? Like, they've always tried to, buy themselves out of trouble. If they're not a good top 14 or top 18, they sack their coaches. And I think you can have that attitude of you wanting to do well, but I think as well, I think it's fair to say that all teams have to go through a rebuild. But I don't think our rebuild is bad. I think our rebuild is good. Because we got ahead of the curve. Like, I know we didn't play some young kids, like, throughout early parts of the season. And we might have had, like, one or two. But we still had, like, a reasonably, like, a young team out there that we can afford to do it. Yeah, well, that's why I think, Tom, that next year they're going to have to start rebuilding. Because they're going to lose a lot. They're losing a lot of people.
Well, they've probably got about, what, a year or two left. And then they're going to probably have, probably similar to what St Kilda went through when they went through their station years and stuff, and they just hit a wall and they're like, shit, we've lost all their draft picks. And yeah, this is going to suck for a while, for like 5-6 years. And that was because they didn't prepare for the future, and they kind of just left, or they kind of just was like, yeah, no, we're just going to let it ride with, Lenny Hayes and Dalsano and Guerrero and all those guys, and then once they sort of figured out, they tried to move some of those guys like Dalsano and Goddard. Well, I think Goddard left when I think Dalsano was more.
Yeah, they treated him poorly. Do you guys think that Nick Dacus will play round one? I reckon he might be a good chance.
I think he will. I think he kind of has to. If he's not a number one pick, we're basically going to treat him as such. And he's just one of those guys where he's just, you're going to learn regardless.
Yo.
And it's just, he's just one of those guys where you just put him in the deep end and you just let him swim. Because he's good, like this is an analogy I'm doing at the moment, but that if you put him in the deep end, he won't drown.
Yeah,
so he'll swim, you just don't know how well he'll swim. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I think you gotta see how far he can go as well. And I think we might have to rest him a few games as well. That
could be a possibility, but I think getting him out there, and I think as well just getting his confidence up is the thing that we have to do the quickest. So when we get that done, I've no doubt that he'll be playing. He'll be playing some decent senior footy pretty quickly, especially as well because if you think about, in a sense, how, even though he's obviously not at the club anymore, but in Stevenson's first year, that's the type of output we're probably going to have from
Yeah.
But then also we need to remember that we need to treat his second year how we should have treated Stevenson and not how we actually did, because I felt like we put a lot of pressure on him, and again, second year blues, and he kind of like fell underneath the expectations, even though he has such high expectations. So I feel this time around we kind of need to be a bit more sort of like, at
Not
the end of the day,
expecting
just like
too
supportive.
much. Just keep playing
Yeah,
keep playing the role, and just make sure that
yeah, pretty much.
you don't have to be a 50-goal kicker. As long that you are kicking, being consistent every game that you play, you should be alright, and not do anything stupid like Stevenson did, which that was a fact. The idiot. Yeah, Tom said yeah. He will. So will Lipinski. I
Yeah,
don't know if
Lipinski.
I
What's
don't
that?
know if I agree with Damien Barrett about Lipinski or not. If he doesn't play 22 games.
What do you mean?
Have you seen the sliding doors?
No.
Okay, once I get a break in play, guys, I'm just gonna pause it. Because I did see something
But
about...
is he just saying that, like, what was the quote?
Cheers, Bella, love you for it.
But yeah, when it comes to Lipinski as well, though, yeah, he will be in the side day one, oh sorry, round one, and the only way he'll miss games is if he gets injured. That's my take on it.
I'll get a bit of a break. Oh, I do apologise, guys, because I've seen something on AFL app, which has to be,
If it's on the AFL app, I'll look it up myself.
So I think I've got it.
And they run an article, breakdown Magpie claims first go point. As if he hasn't been that good for however long now.
Yeah, so here we go. If ex-stock Patrick Lipinski doesn't play 22 matches in 2022 and finish top 5 in the Copeland count, then I'll be surprised. Reckon he's an untapped talent.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Okay.
Completely agree, because he's just basically, the way he plays is the type of midfielder that we need. Because a lot of the times, like, we saw a lot of guys, they were too scared to take the game off. That's one of the things we badly missed with Trelaw. Trelaw was that
Running
out
carry.
and out gun that would just grab it and just like, I don't care who's in front of me, who's behind me, good luck chasing me. And you kind of need that confidence, and you need that midfielder in your team. And Lipinski, I feel, is that.
Oh, 100%.
And it shows that he's also got a good I don't know what is it? In the mid-team forwards, so he can actually like be that kid that links up to the forward. Yeah, I've got no doubt, Jeremy, that AJ will be playing
a few games next season. Yeah, he might. Can I ask a question purely on about Lipinski? Wouldn't you think he'll have to earn his spot?
No.
No? Okay.
I mean, in terms of behind closed doors, yeah, sure. But he just has to do what he has to do and he'll be fine. So I'm sure they'll talk to him about that, and they'll, sort of give him this whole spiel on, okay, this is what you have to do and you need to do all this stuff. But to say that there's any danger of him playing round one, there is no danger.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
No, I just want your opinion on it. That's all. because
Well, it's a thing when you go as hard for players and the players that you're getting are what are going to fill the holes in your team. Um, it doesn't become a situation of okay, we need to make sure this guy earns his spot. It becomes more of okay, we've just got this guy on our team. We need him. How do we get him up so that he's
sub
earning his
job.
spot?
Yeah.
So, it's a whole flip on the psychology of things, I guess, if that makes any sense.
Do you think
Because
Krieger will play
I think so.
round one, or you think later on?
Yeah. No, I think he'll play round one. Yeah, you don't go as hard for him as we probably are going to do if you're not going to be playing him. You at least have the intention of him playing round one. And he's been screaming out for an opportunity for, I feel, the last 2 years. At Geelong, and Geelong didn't give him that. There is some, I guess, reports saying that he needs another year of development to build up his body and to contend with it physically. But I think as a forward, you can kind of get away with a little bit more as a forward, just purely because as a forward, a defender has to cater to your plans rather than as a defender you need to cater to the forward's plans.
Oh yeah.
So you can have an undeveloped body and play in the forward line, but you can't really necessarily do it in the back line. So
Oh, what a goal. Oh no, hit the post. Rafe McInnes will probably make his debut next season as well. Yeah.
yeah,
I think he will.
Yeah. The only thing that would make him not make it round one is if he gets injured. Because he's that other one where he's similar to Poulter in a sense where he's 193 centimetres and basically a midfielder. The only thing that would make me think that he might take a little bit longer is again because of his body. But I'm sure he probably won't play round one, but he'll play, whether it's a third of the way through the season after the bye, towards the end of the season. He'll probably debut at some point. It's just a matter of when it is. But again, he's another one where he's going to be really good when he develops his body, and he's like physically, capable of playing every week in the AFL. So I feel like him and Poulter are up with the same sort of types. Because I think that's actually probably one of the reasons why Poulter wasn't playing every week towards the end. Because his body just wasn't holding up physically.
That's understandable. Well, I think that's truly understandable. If your body isn't holding up, I think it's a good move.
Especially as a kid, like, I mean, yeah. It's very rare you see an 18-year-old kid play 22, 23 games this season, or play 22, 23 games that season. And if you are, I mean, the thing that the first player that comes to mind is Stevenson. And even though mentally he may be may choose some things that not the average person would pick.
Yeah.
In terms of choices, but at the end of the day, you can't doubt that he can play some pretty damn good footy.
What do you guys think of Liam McMahon? He isn't spoken about it much.
With Liam, he's definitely a project player. I think he'll come good. He definitely will be good enough. He will just take a little bit more time
to develop
than what the others will be. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he sort of when you have rookies that are as good as Bo, Poulter, Bianco, trying to think of the midfielder, Finlay McRae, all those guys, because they're not essentially ready to go, but they're good enough to where they can provide a role. You know, you're gonna obviously focus on those guys first before someone like a McMahon
Oh
who's
yeah.
gonna again take he'll need some time to develop his body. Like when you're basically playing the AFL and you know your first 3, maybe 4 years, well, the main thing that you should be doing is making sure that you're physically ready to go and play AFL because unless if you have like a lot of speed or a lot of um, uh, just overall game, a very good game sense, it's very hard for you to at least play AFL consistently because it is such a high demanding game,
Oh, it is.
and
There's a
especially
lot
when
of
you're
difference
18.
playing VFL than AFL for sure.
Yeah. Or even if you think about it, there's a massive difference between an 18-year-old compared to a 24-year-old, and then there's an even bigger difference between a 24-year-old to a 30-year-old. So there's yeah, it's and then you know and then try and imagine an 18-year-old trying to essentially outwork a 30-year-old. You know, it's not very. You can have it if the kid is super talented, but it's only on very rare occasions. And that's why you have kids like those kids are normally in the first round of the draft normally.
Oh, definitely. Jeez, I'm killing Richmond by 52 points. God.
Well, Kruger's gonna be on the end another one for me. He's kicked 4 already in my one. Yeah, but like when it comes to Liam McMahon, he'll definitely come good. It'll just take him a little bit more time. So I think he gets talked about the least just because yeah he's got a lot more development to go. But in saying that, he'll be more than good when he's ready.
Callum Brown is one of those players that's too good for the VFL but not good enough for the AFL.
Oh man, let me take this one. So when it comes to Cal Brown's downfall isn't because of Cal Brown's. Isn't Cal Brown's fault. Buckley has basically tried to play him as a forward, and Cal Brown is not a forward. He's a guy that primarily plays in the centre. So
I think I've
the
spoken
best
about
way,
that.
yeah, we've spoken about it. But I think I'm not sure if Jeremy was here to hear this, but when it comes to Cal, if you have to compare him to anybody, especially in the Collingwood team itself, in terms of who's who he is competing for spots, he's not competing for anybody's spot in the forward line. He's competing for a spot from, say, someone like a Taylor Adams. So if you look at Taylor Adams, you look at his pros and cons, and then whatever his pros and cons are, try and try and put those into Callum Brown's pros and cons and see where he stacks up. And you feel and you'll see that he actually is a lot better fit playing centre than he is playing forward pocket or half forward.
He should be playing in the middle. He played a good game against Richmond. Yeah, I tend to agree. I don't know if you watched my Callum Brown player range videos, Jeremy, but I did say as well, thank you Bella for that, I did say as well, like, Buckley has been playing him out of position, and
Yeah.
because he's not a forward, he's a midfielder who can really get into the game, and he can kick goals. I think that's why, and to play Darcy more forward as well. Like, I understand why we did that, but when we were struggling, I think you need to make that move and really make sure that you put the you know the best defender in the competition in defence. If you're struggling for tools, I think you probably should bring in Mason Cox. Did Mason play against the Eagles the first time?
No,
I don't think
I
he
don't think
did.
so.
No.
No, because that was when Darcy went forward, and I don't think those have been the same forward line for a good while.
Because Mason loves playing against West Coast, and I think with Mason, you can have him up forward and have Darcy in defence, and you don't have to make any moves as well. You can keep that forward line.
Yeah.
And you can play quickly, because we all know that how much West Coast love it when it's nice and slow as well. So, personally, I think Mason should have played against the West Coast Eagles. That's just personal opinion. But again, like, I don't know. Like, I'm not inside the four walls of the coaching staff, so I can't. I can only give an opinion on what I have seen, either on the training track or what you see highlights on AFL 360 and the rest.
Yeah. One of the other things too, just back on the Colin Brown talk as well, is I know Jeremy brought up Richmond. The best way I can also, because Cole Brown, I feel like because people don't know Cole Brown's full ability as a footballer, they sort of kind of get the wrong message of like what he's trying to do. The best way I can explain Cal Brown as a footballer is that he's basically Taylor Adams with a little bit of Shane Edwards from Richmond.
Yep.
And if you know who Shane Edwards is from Richmond and how he goes about things, Shane Edwards is the type of player where he does a lot of under centre work. So whether it's like a tap on forward to a player or I think when Jack started to do it, like that was when I know the media started to pick up on it. But Shane Edwards has been doing it for like over 10 years at this point, where he just does those little things that go a long way.
Yep.
So when you've got, say, the ball, say, 90 metres out, there'll be that play between 90 metres out to about 60 to where something needs to happen to have that ball continue forward if there's pressure on that ball. So
Yep.
whether that's taking a tackle and dishing it off, or if the ball's rolling forward, like he's the one that like just literally punches it forward so that someone else can pick it up. There's little things that Shane Edwards does that Cal Brown does a lot. And also as well, I think people don't really. I don't think people also. What's the word? Like, Cal Brown also has the similar mindset to what Trelaw had as well too. So when we had him out of the side, when he would have the ball and he'd be the one that would be along, like, so the year before, he'd be the one along Trelaw, like, trying to bring the ball forward as well. So when you have guys out of the side like that, and then you're so defensive minded and you're not confident to push the ball forward. That's why we had scenarios where you would where you would watch the games and they would just kick it back to each other in the back line. So when you don't have those players, it makes you not confident to drive the ball forward. Because that's the massive thing that we like. Even though Chalor's a fantastic player, but one of the things that we missed the most was his aggression. Like when he had the ball and he just tucked it under his arm and he just ran. That was good for the team because it got us to be in that mindset, and then because he would do it so often and be so well in doing it too, the team would also, from the Commodores point of view, would then be confident in the game plan to play an aggressive style if it needed to then be aggressive. So it's like little things like that.
I think with Adam too, sometimes he's not always a great ball user. You know what I mean? Like sometimes, um,
Yeah.
it gets to the point where you think, oh, surely like he should be, hitting targets. Like he might take the game on, but he doesn't always make the best decision. And I think
Yeah.
it nearly cost us against West Coast, and in the way it did in the grand final. There's sometimes like you got to be smart with the footy, and he's not always smart when he gets it. Like it's always good to be attacking, but you want to make sure that you hit the right option as well.
Well, I think that also shows that why we're getting Lipinski. Because again, if you have someone like a Lipinski on the ground, instead of Adams having that kick, he then handballed it off to Lipinski that then kicks it. You know, like um, yeah. I mean, I would also say as well too, like Adams's back half or his last 6 games weren't necessarily great from a efficiency point of view as well either. Like he did have those, kicks where he would turn it over and it'll be pretty bad turnovers. Um, like, and he did kind of look like the Taylor Adams of, 2015, 16, and probably even a little bit of 2017, where he was known for that person that, even though yes he would get the ball, but he would, do a thing where he would like switch the ball when it just wasn't necessary, or um, there's like a lot of things that he could have changed that would have had like better results. But I felt like the last like 2018, 19, and 2020 as an overall as they were as overall seasons, I felt like he got a lot better at that, and he wouldn't do it like as much. And you could probably only in those like 3 years you could probably only count that he did it maybe not even half a dozen times for like 3 years, which is obviously pretty good record.
Pretty much. What's the score? Ah, Jamie out looks good. I think that's good, Bella. 4-2. Alright, let's see one more before bed. I think. I was going to stream earlier, but if it wasn't for Swoop to stream the watch along, I would have done it earlier. Because he didn't say that he was going to do it.
What, that he wasn't?
No, he didn't say that he was going to.
I think he said on Twitter at some point that he said he was going to. I could be wrong, but I thought I did hear him say something, but it was like really late too.
Yeah, it does get like that.
Yeah. And then with like Cal, like I mean, the same goes to Tyler as well. Like I feel like Tyler gets the most, well, it's probably the same heat, but Tyler shouldn't be facing as much heat as what Cal should be getting.
100% agreed on that. I think Grundy will have an All-Australian next year. Be cool.
Yeah, no, fully agree. I reckon Grundy, DeGoey. I hope to God they actually finally recognise Chris as a actual decent player for once. I mean, the fact that there was an AFL article of basically saying that Chris just won the best and fairest, so he's finally had a breakout season. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, he's been amazing for us ever since he's walked through the door. But no, Grundy, DeGoey. more definitely. If he plays every game, he will definitely be an All-Australian.
This evening's match.
And then I guess a combination of either Chris or Howe, I think, would get an All-Australian if they play all year as well. Like, in saying that, like, I'm pretty positive and pretty bullish about how well we'll go next year. Like, I reckon we'll be making the 8. Just especially if we get the players that we're going to get, that we're rumored to get. We're just we'll just have a lot of depth for spots, and I think with McRae, like, I think as well, and one thing that maybe people haven't sort of, I don't know if people like looked into it this much, but I don't think people are sort of realizing like how ready people are for him to start.
Oh yeah.
Like the fact that how many people just, sorry, how many players like went up there on the Copeland tonight and were just like, I cannot wait for the new season to start so we can start fresh. How many players did that? Like nearly everyone.
I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah, like I think the fact that there's a new identity, there's a new sort of like aura, I guess if that's the right word, surrounding Collingwood at the moment.
What the hell? There was a glitch in the game.
Collected the ball well. Picked off the deck. Gets a handball.
Okay.
A strong marking attack from Langdon. DeGoey will be upset with that. Uses the hands instead of the body, and it's a free kick. Henry puts it on the boot.
But yeah, no, just the fact that there's so many players ready just to move on from what was prior.
It'll be a throw.
I think that's also another thing too, where you're going to see a lot of players left as well.
I can't even pause it, guys. Shit.
Can't pause it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a bit strange.
There is a glitch, guys, in the AFL game. Can you believe it? Because I pressed something, I think I was trying to pause it. And it just went from the centre to the boundary line.
Yeah, that's strange.
It's gonna be a mark anyway. Let's see if I can kick a goal here.
Is there anyone that you can see next year that you reckon is going to be like a completely different player, or you think is going to play out their skin next season?
Oh, Oliver Henry will. Here we go.
Yeah.
Now I can start. God, stupid. I think Ollie Henry's gonna have another breakout season. And the reason why I say that is because I think he's going to be a star. I think he's going to dominate. The way that he played, and for him to get the Young Player of the Year award tonight, thank you, Bella. I think that's the reason why.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be interesting to see who does take that next step. Yeah, but I mean, like, there are things like, you know, like second year blues and stuff and all that. Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Do you think we made the right decision to go for a rebuild now, or?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you think if we did do it, if we didn't do it, I should say, and we struggled this year, do you think it would have been obvious to do a rebuild?
Well, I mean, it was clear that we wanted to do a rebuild because you know, with the last draft we went into, we traded our first round pick and got all those players. I mean, that was the first sign of the rebuild, because you don't really do that unless if you really need some kids coming through. Um, like, again, as I mentioned before, like I'm probably one of the more positive supporters going around at the moment, but I can see us turning things around pretty quickly. Like, the fact that we still have Canterbury solid on how, like, all those experienced players still in. And, yeah, we just need to shore up a couple of spots here and there, like you getting someone like a Stengel who gives you a bit of X Factor and a little bit of AFL experience.
I 100%
Mate,
agree with you. Like, I
yeah.
got this feeling too.
And also as well, the fact that McRae is, McRae is so driven by success. He doesn't care how it happens as long as it happens. Like the fact that he's already said when Dacos gets drafted, like we're just going to give him to our most experienced coach, and he's just going to be like one-on-one coach for him, basically. Like instead of wanting to stamp his name on everything, he doesn't care how it gets done as long as it gets done. And I think that's a massive thing as a coach to stamp his authority on. I guess is that he's willing to do whatever it takes, no matter who gets the credit for it. So yeah, like I think it's going to be very interesting because, and then at the same time too, I reckon that the AFL is going to go extremely well. I can see us being top four next year. In the VFL because you're not going to be having your super talented AFL players that are going to be tearing games apart. And then with the amount of talent that we have on our roster, yes, it's young, but when it comes to the VFL, as long as you have that talent, like you normally seem to have pretty good games anyway. We might get injuries from like Kelly and things like that, and some things can happen there. But overall, I think there's nothing but positivity at this point because you can see a plan for everything. Like you can see like for example, with Donovan, you can see, oh, okay, yeah, he won't be in our best 22. But you can see, okay, Elliot's 28 years old. Elliot's only got maybe 4 years left. You give 4 years of development into Donovan, and he then becomes, what, a 22, 23-year-old. And then he slots straight in. And then even worst case scenario, Elliot gets injured, who comes in? He does. And
Yeah,
he
that's it.
and he's shown he's more than capable of playing at the AFL level. Um, I just think that we've got a lot of solid backups to our A team, so to speak. Um, and as long as they're not sort of as long as we're not hit with a shit ton of injuries, I think we should do pretty well for ourselves.
Yeah, well, that's why I think as well.
Mm. Yeah, because even if you look at all the guys that are in this VFL, all of them have a role. All of them you can say, okay, well, you're competing for this guy's spot, you're competing for that guy's spot. It's pretty clear where they're trying to be. Like, let's say someone like for like the wings positions, you got say someone like a Hoskin Elliott. But then in the VFL, like waiting in the wings, you got Murphy, Tyler Brown. Trying to think if there's like anyone else I can think of, but you know, um, maybe I don't think his best position is wing. Probably like the Tom Wilson. He could be someone that could go very well. Um, let's see if I can get up that document
The
again.
siren sounds for the start of the second quarter. Back in the middle now.
Yeah, well, it
Drops it clear.
should be interesting as well.
Stanley picks up the loose ball.
Well,
Picked up
the
by
VFL. I still got to do VFL season review.
two
Fucking hell.
surrounded. He mounts
I
another.
just haven't recorded a video about anything.
The ball ends up going to ground.
Um,
Oh, I'll talk about
yeah,
it in
so
depth about it as well.
yeah, but like in the VFL lineup, like at the moment, I've got Jason like a Noble, but when you have the guys that we have, um, I don't see Noble in that best 22 personally. Um, yeah, I might need to update this actually because I've got a couple of players there that
Why did we
definitely aren't
pick?
going to be there.
Why did we pick up Big Roo? We already have too many Rockmen. Don't know what you mean by that, Jeremy. Oh,
Well, no, so he's saying that because we've got so if you look at our ruck stocks, you've got Brody Grundy's our main ruck. Then after that, it's a combination of Darcy Cameron, Max Lynch, I guess in that sense, Big Roo. Is there anybody else I'm forgetting? Because I wouldn't put Beg in that conversation because he's a even though he can ruck, but he's a forward that can ruck. Because as I said, 197 centimeters in an AFL standard, he's just you're better developing him as a forward than a ruckman. But yeah, you've got four rucks there that I can think. Let me get the document
I
back up
think.
again. So.
I don't know. Well, we're getting Kruger, we're getting Lipinski, so we're getting like some sort of run in our
But
in our
Kruger's not
legs
like a
as well.
flat out ruckman though. He's just a guy that gives you grunt that can be maybe like a second.
Forward defense, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like Kruger is mainly a forward who can go in defense, and Lipinski, we know that he's a midfielder. So I think, in a way,
Taylor looking to track down the footy, avoids the pressure. With the ball is Stewart. Pushes off the tackle. Stevenson misses the tackle with quick hands. Kicks to the square. Menegola dug out the loose ball.
Yeah, I don't think I'm missing out on anybody.
In the context.
Nah, so you got about four ruckmen,
Henry earns a
couple of part-time ruckmen in probably Kruger and Begg.
kicks to the square.
Um,
Up the ball.
I think we've got enough now. I don't think we need any.
Kicks out of the congestion.
well, actually, I reckon we'll probably trade him. Even though I don't want it to happen, but I think that's where we'll probably go. And then, because I feel like in the draft, that's where we'll probably pick up like a key defender. Because
Loose ball scooped up.
if we're going to pick up a key defender, we could pick up like a Lewis of free agent somewhere, like a Talia maybe, but it doesn't look likely. But if we
I've
pick
heard
up,
that Lynch has been offered to year as a coach and player sort of type thing as well.
the original report, I think Talia was going to go to Richmond, but now Tarrant went to Richmond, so or is going to go to Richmond. So
I can't see what the
that
hell.
sort of
Tell us at this stage, Gary.
It's a really entertaining game of football.
Stevenson.
so that cancels that out.
The hell? Oh, what the hell is happening?
Yeah, I'm watching it now. That's not normal.
Someone tackle me.
might have to just restart it.
Might have to.
Have you updated the game yet? Because the game might need to be updated.
Hang on, let's check.
But when it comes to the option stuff, it's just when it comes to name I think, yeah, as I said, I don't want it to happen, but I think Lynch will be on his way out. And if we get him for a certain pick, we can then hopefully, whatever's left from the Dacos and did bids, we can then maybe get a, um, a key back. Maybe like an 18-year-old that's a key back that is half decent. Because I feel like that's what we need at the moment is a key back at the moment.
I'll just restart the game, guys. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, I reckon it's best. I reckon the best thing to do is
That's just
restart it.
weird.
Yeah. If it keeps happening again, you might have to close it and update it.
It's already been updated, so I don't see why it shouldn't be. I haven't played in a
Okay.
couple weeks as well.
Yeah. Oh, and then also just add on with the big roofing as well. I can't remember what the official term is for it, but we signed him up to a certain like rookie contract. And it's a contract to where it was similar to what Cox had. It was like a category B rookie. I think that's what it's called. I'm not 100% sure. And it's basically a contract that just says that whatever, it's basically whatever happens, we get first dibs to put him officially on the list, basically. So similar to how we had with Cox, he's technically on the list, but we don't really have to like pay him that much, and it's just if it works out, it's going to be massive to us. But if it doesn't work out, we're not losing anything for him. So it's a rule part of it to where like it's either we use it and we can gain a lot of advantages of it, but then if we don't, I mean someone else will pick him up, and if he develops somewhere else and develops into a very good player, we then miss out on that opportunity to go through that process with that said player. So, but I can give Rue some time. I think he'll be alright.
Who's got the nickname Big Roo?
The Sudanese guy, his name's
Oh, him, yeah.
Basaru Faye, I think his name is.
Yeah, him, yeah. Oh, I forgot about him. Because his name is not on the thing.
No.
It's not in the squad.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll update that at some point, but no, he's definitely on the list, and yeah, I think he's a Category B rookie. I think that's what the official term is, which I'm pretty sure was the same contract we had with Cox when we first picked up Cox.
Oh,
Why have you got Stevenson in the ruck for?
I don't know, it just does that. Tell you what, it's been handy.
Yeah.
It's quicker than a gunning. Yeah, I didn't want to stream NBA tonight. I've been playing enough of that as it is.
Yeah.
I will play Destiny 2 as well. I gotta do stuff in the game as well.
You know, I'm hoping I'll be ready to go with Alan Wake when it comes out. Oh, that's the other thing too. Blue Point PlayStation just bought Blue Point last night.
Oh,
So the
okay.
people that made the Demon Souls remake, they got bought by PlayStation, which has been something that's been it was like a no-brainer, but it was a thing that was eventually going to happen for
Oh yeah.
at least like 6 months ago because there was when Housemarque got bought. Apparently, they had a thumbnail ready to go for Blue Point as well, but it was they only bought Housemarque at the time, so it was obviously very awkward. So people knew that this was something in the works for a while, but now that they've officially been bought, they can now confirm the Blue Point acquisition. So, and apparently, I think in the statement as well, they said too was that they were going to make a brand new IP with with PlayStation buying their studio. That yeah, they were going to make a new IP. So they're going to be getting a brand new game from them. So that'll be
Ben
interesting.
Reynolds shot misses. This is the same scoreline as when it froze. The difference is, it's the first quarter. And this one is a shot hits the post. Oh god. No one's in the second quarter. So. Oh, if it comes up exclusives, oh,
Yeah.
I might just.
Well, is there any other players we need to discuss? Because I feel like we've already spoken about probably all of them, but I think there are a few that we've pretty much spoken to death about at this point. I feel.
So if we don't trade Cox and Sawyer,
I think Cox is gone regardless, and I think it's just a matter of if teams catch on to the fact that we'll just let him go for anything. He might go as low as a fifth or fourth round pick, if not lower. But hopefully we have a bit of well, we don't really have any bargaining power, but if we get him out of the club for anything more than a fourth round, that's a massive win.
oh for sure.
But I think that's where he's at, is probably a fourth round pick.
Alright guys, I'm just gonna go to the loo, I'll be back. Oh, I'm busted.
If there's any questions you guys in the chat want to ask, feel free to put them in the comments section.
Collingwood have been giving the opposition a chance to move the ball around freely, which is working because they're getting on top once they force a contest.
Thanks.
Hi Devin Pike, how are you, man? I'm back.
The second term ready to get underway.
Ooh. What happened? Oh, it's my neighbour.
We're back in motion.
Yeah, no, nothing like this happened over here.
Showed good control.
That's
Just
alright.
scrolling through Twitter.
Works it across the ground. Ball taken up. Decides to kick. Winning the
Then,
ball there was
is
happy.
there any like content that you're looking to do that's like coming up soon? Like even with like video games and stuff, because I feel like
Can't
that would
separate
be
these two
content that
teams.
would fill up the void of the AFL season.
I might try and do that, but I'll tell you off air.
Howe found some space, then marked.
Oh, have you been keeping up to date with the Big Bash signings?
No, I haven't.
Because there's been a couple of women's signings that have happened.
Doesn't take the mark. Chases
Renegades
off the
announced a
tackle.
couple of fighters.
I did see that, yeah.
Collects the loose ball. Kicks hurriedly. He takes the mark.
Yeah, because I don't know whether if I should do like content on
Put
it,
a
only
goal through
because like
here. This will
when it
certainly
comes
test
to
the
that,
momentum on this
I don't know what
dismissal.
I'm talking about. If I'm gonna be speaking about the women's,
Regain the lead and he
but
fires.
if it's about like the
Goes
men's and stuff,
inside.
I'll have a lot more like
10 metres out.
experience when it comes to that. So I'm kind of not sure which way to go.
He blasts it through. That's his head. About to resume hostilities. Thumps it clear. Stevenson on the ground. That Rowan will be the recipient of the free. Chips it towards half
21
forward.
20.
Good mark and looks to send it back.
Because the only I think Renegades signings at the
Wants to
moment is
keep moving. It's marked by
what's his
Nicole.
name? Adamson
Lost
signed
the
for the
ball.
Renegades.
Ends up turning this
Yeah,
one
I've seen a few of the signings that's come up on Twitter or Insta.
doesn't make the tackle.
Yeah.
Nice work for
Yeah, there's been a
Stevenson.
few men's from like other teams and stuff. Wasn't there someone from the Stars that signed or
Took
something?
his eyes off the ball.
Some of the male ones have. I know that much.
Yeah.
He wins the ball in the air. Moved on by Langdon. Doesn't take the mark. Just gave it away. Reed uses the body well. Not sure if he has the journey from here. Big Langdon could get the lead with this kick. And the boundary line wins. What do you make of the game so far, Gary?
I'm really enjoying this one, Hutto.
Stevenson thumped it clear. With the ball now. Hawkins got hands to it. Cockatoo quickly onto the boot. Dug out by Jarenberg. The ball in the hands of Maynard. Now it's a ball up. Swanson. Elliott doesn't make the tackle. Brown gathers it now. Hughes gets on the end of this. Goes by foot. Looks like the ball will be coming back. Works it across the ground. Elliott couldn't snaffle it. Got the hands free. Ball gets cut off. Duncan slams it onto the boot. Brown strips it out. Hit the man hard. Just goes bang. Ball up called. Stevenson with the hit.
So who do you follow in the career for the Big Bash?
Melbourne Stars.
Wins the contest. Collected by Stevens.
So, yeah.
Narrowly avoids the tackle. Stanley manufactures a handball.
So when the Stars are playing, do you like go to the games?
Only a minute and a half
If I can, yeah.
over the boundary line. Ball over the
If not, like, if it's at 50%, I won't bother.
Amazon. He's got the footy in his hands.
Because it'll be too hard to get tickets. Because it'll be just members.
Kick by two.
Mm.
But
Normally with big batches, normally it's not super easy, but it's because it's basically a state level competition. It's not too hard to get them,
yeah,
especially if you remember. The only thing is that like, oh, I think we should be out of lockdown by because it starts in December. I think normally, so we should be good by then. But you never know.
and so the AFLW starts in January as well. So I'm hoping, I really am hoping.
Punches are clear. They can create from this. Moscanelli clears the ball from the contest.
Ben Reed picks it up. Oh fuck!
Geelong can turn the ball over a lot trying to play aggressively. It's
So
where they do, and
I
they
guess
finish
Vang
those
is like a
games.
question. Out of all the new recruits, which one are you most
Gets the
excited
ball
to
on a
see?
heavy bucket.
Um,
The kick connects with the post.
probably Lipinski.
Calling
Mm.
Blitzards to kick it in.
Kruger, I think he will play, but I think
Stevens puts that one away.
Lipinski could be the one that we can get as much depth in that midfield.
Gets himself in space and
Yeah.
runs. Not much
Um,
time left in the quarter. Marks now and can send it back.
Geelong just aren't running for each other or
Yeah,
creating
because I think
space.
it's fair to say that
So when they
Lipinski's
get to
pretty
inside,
clear at this
they
point,
can go wide and his set shots
the better
are
recruit.
Break 11 at
Um,
half-time.
Geelong have had a good first half. I think they'd really love to stamp their
because
authority on
yeah,
this
I
contest.
think when you compare Kruger to
Let's see what
Lipinski,
the
I think
stats have to show.
Lipinski's got
Collingwood have
bit
struggled to
more
get the ball
to
forward
him.
of centre. Look at the inside 50 difference. They're
Um,
getting well beaten.
Thanks for that, Gaz. One half of footy
well
down.
then, I guess
One to
which
go.
one are you more excited for? Are you more excited for Lipinski or are you more excited for uh Paycos?
I reckon Dacos. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's what I think.
Mm.
Well, I think Dacos is the man that he's gonna really help out
Winning it.
the youngsters. He's quick, he's got pace.
Now we will get a ball.
Um,
What can you tell us, Gaz?
not too sure about
Skills on display
anyone
right
else
now.
for that matter that could potentially help. He might play 15 games
Sends it clear of the contest.
next season. Who knows?
5 foot.
It's
He gives chase to the footy. The loose ball scooped up.
it all depends on who's going to come in and come out.
Sends it back.
Geelong are allowing too many marks inside the opposition forward 50. If they continue to get beat in this area, they'll find it
3
difficult
hours
to
of
recover.
streaming. I think this might be it. I think, guys, after this game, I think,
Yeah, it's half right now.
yeah, it's
No issues with that drop pass. He puts through his back. About to resume play. Thrashes it. Dug it out. Phillip collects it. The ball goes to ground. Doing well was Menegola. A lot of possessions for him. A chance to reload the attack now. Gets the handball away. Tui gets the ball. Guthrie slips the tackle. Nobody can hold on here. Duncan failing to get near it, Gas.
That's right, I know he just can't seem to get into the game.
Towards centre half forward. Guthrie just put it on the boot. Martin in space. Throwing. Normally a pretty good kick. Let's see what he can do.
oh lucky.
Elects to keep moving.
I'm gonna have to try and take the game on.
Moves it on. Gets the loose ball. The kick from Degoe. Great grab. Guthrie goes with the kick. An easy grab for Tui. Tui to get the free kick.
what I will try and do is that if I do go and watch the boys train, I might try and record the training if and when I do go, and that way I can try and get more of that content up as well. So it may not be a weekly thing, but it might be something like worth it as well.
Yeah. So when you record like the training and stuff, do you use your phone or do you have a camera?
I use my phone for that, yeah.
Yeah, because phones these days are normally pretty good with that stuff.
The only thing is I have to like edit the noise sort of stuff, like blocked and like when the coach is talking and that. That's one thing I have to do, and that's fine by me. Like I don't care in having to do that.
Well, I mean, as long as you get the content out of the way and like you're able to do that, I mean, everything else is pretty much a bonus at that point, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Because when they do 2K time trials, and that's, pretty easy, I think.
Well, in terms of recording it or to do it?
To record it, it would be.
Yeah.
I might have to edit that out.
You were gonna say it's easy to do a 2K run. Yeah, okay. Those 2K runs are hard as hell. But then again, when I ever played my footy, I was never built for, running a lot, so...
Fuck me, man, like... I mean, if I did it, I'll be sore afterwards, like, yeah, nah, that's it. Hold on.
I always hate how, like, whenever they finish it, they come off as if, like they're sore and they're tired, but they shrug it off to where it's like, it doesn't affect them that much.
Yeah.
I just look at them, I'm just like, god damn it, like, I'd be nearly dead after 2K, like... Especially if that's like the first thing you do off like a break of like just doing nothing. Like, damn, like I'd kill to be able to just like do a 2K run and there'd barely be anything to me.
Oh, so would I, like, that would be... No.
That is actually probably one of the things I'm gonna start to do is I might sign up to a gym or something and do it in a way where like I set like schedules in terms of like when I'm going and not. I feel like that's the way it's gonna happen if it's gonna work out.
You can
Because I'll
record
put so
yourself
much...
as well.
Okay. Because yeah, in this whole lockdown period I've put on so much weight, it's ridiculous.
Geelong have actually turned it over more than the opposition. They haven't allowed that to translate into scores. It's why they're still in front.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting as well. Like, when I get back to the gym, it's just like... should be really interesting. No, missed it.
There you go.
Who are you looking forward to? In which player out of the kids?
Play out of the kids.
Yeah.
Or in terms of the kids that played this year.
Yeah.
That's a good question actually.
They can find a way to use their clearance ability better, they will find themselves in front.
Probably Reef because he's probably got the most
Ball up in the centre
things
square.
about him that we just don't know about fully yet.
Yeah, until he starts
'Cause
playing.
yeah, so like you've got you know what Ollie's gonna do.
Cleanly picked up.
We probably don't know fully what Polka's gonna do, but you know it's gonna be good.
I haven't seen him
Whether if he
play.
becomes a defender, midfielder.
We were expecting.
I mean, you know my thoughts on him. I think they're the next one contenders. Um, Bo, we know roughly what he's going to be, but I kind of don't really want to see Bo at the moment just because I want him to make sure he gets over those hamstring issues.
Yeah, fair enough.
Sinks the slipper into it.
I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm more than happy to not see Bo all of next season. Just wrap him in cotton ball and make sure he's okay.
The umpire set to bounce to restart the game.
William McMahon is obviously a bit of a project, so I know he's going to take a bit of time, but I mean, he's still just as exciting. I mean, we used him at pick 30, I think it was.
Yeah.
So it's not like we got him at like pick like 847 or something. So you know,
Oh,
pick 30 is still
absolutely.
pretty high. Yeah, no, I think Reef. I think Reef is, in terms of like the guys that like we drafted. But then I'm probably as equally to see someone like a AJ and probably Aiden Begg as well. But I know Aiden Begg's going to take a little bit longer than AJ, but yeah, I think AJ is going to be
Unable to apply the tackle. Crashes it.
and I would not be surprised in the slightest if AJ's out there round one.
Barco controlled it well off the bounce. Arches his back.
So to answer your question, probably Reef.
Fair enough.
Back in the middle.
I think for me, Bianco, I think he's going to be something special.
Yeah, I feel there's another level to his game we haven't seen yet, so I can definitely understand that. Bianco's had that extra year though, so that's why I left him out.
We resume hostilities.
He has played like scratch matches as well, so
Yeah.
I think it's not.
I mean, he did debut this year, but it's his second year on the list.
Yeah, so is Rentel as well.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts at the moment, Gaz?
It's a really good contest out there right now, and it's great to watch.
He's worked hard and probably needs a chance to rest.
Actually, that just hit me. What if, like, could you imagine we had a midfield, say in 3 years' time? Right, so let's just say hypothetically, Sear stays at the club, he pulls his finger out of his ass, and we go, okay, he's here to stay, and he seems to be an alright player. How scary of a midfield would it be in 3 years' time when you have Sear on ball, Caleb Poulter, like all beefed up, like all like ready to go, muscled up and everything. You've got Reef McInnes again, probably will play that sort of rover type role. All ready to go, 3-4 years of development in his body. Who else? You got probably Bo in the centre, all ready to go to be like Swanee. Then you got like say a Finlay McRae that'll probably play like the side bottom. You know, he'll probably be on the wing somewhere. And then just and then just to cap it off, like a Nick Dacos somewhere in there as well. How crazy is that midfield?
Oh, would be crazy.
Yeah, so you have what? Because then at that point, like you've got a couple guys that can also play centre there as well, where
Oh, sure
especially if they're all
can.
developed.
Oh.
No, I really like. I'd love to see Bo be like another Swanee. Like that, especially as well because he's been doing all the things Swanee did when he was G2, which makes me like kind of even more excited because it's just like that was the path that got him to where he was, so he's just gonna do the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, next time I think didn't Swoop say he was gonna do one of those like calls next week or something?
Yeah, he
I
did.
might, I might, I might tell him the quote I said to you the other day about the what if. I reckon he'll get a really good kick out of that because he loves his Marvel stuff. I'll say that live on air. So if I don't, make sure to remind me. But I reckon he'll get a really good kick out of that.
So
Do
that's
you
why.
remember the quote? The Caleb Porter is basically the what if version if Swanee became if Penrose became a part of the Rat Pack.
Keeps it alive under some pressure. He has the ball. Tui puts it on the boot. Ablett gets it in good position. Gets it
So I'm
away.
gonna win this game
Spread the clear. They can link up
with
here.
him.
He's getting a lot of
Are you
Oh,
actually excited to see Trey Rusco play?
yeah.
Because
I actually
I'm
like
kind of
him.
yeah. Because I reckon he's that one where if you just put it in the back pocket and let him do his thing. Because he really seems like that type of player where if name's broken, he fix it.
look at him. He really enjoyed that one.
So to have him put him in the back pocket, leave him there, just let him do his thing, and I think we'll be all good to go.
Pretty much. Let's see who. I don't know. Oh god.
Back in the middle now.
Collingwood have been extremely well organised in the stoppages, and it sees them being able to win the ball from the defence.
Yes.
An incredible victory.
Oh man.
Rallied and fought back to win.
A massive missed opportunity for Geelong. They got themselves into a good position and then just fell apart at the seams. A really disappointing result.
So
The final scores stand at the Magpies 64, Geelong 51. Thanks for joining us, Gaz, but that's all we have time for.
Thanks, Hutto. Until next time, that is.
well, come back from like 13 points down at 3/4 time to win. Oh, man. Alright guys, I'm gonna end the stream. It's about bedtime.
Yeah, all good.
Thank you for watching. Check out Ultimate Greatness' YouTube channel as well. Make some great content. Go and check him out. Absolutely love his work as usual. But until next time, like, comment, and subscribe. Please don't forget to share both our videos as well to your friends and family, and get them to subscribe to our channels as well. That would mean the world to us. I'm on 128 subscribers now. Absolutely did not think I would get to 128. It means the world to me. I think with Ultimate Greatness, so look it up, he's got 71 subscribers. So please check him out, subscribe to his channel, watch his content. Just be patient, guys, as well. If you don't see any content, so just be patient, everyone, and we'll talk about it then. Before I do go, I will check to see how many have liked the stream. 6 people liked the stream. That's a pretty decent number. As well, But until next time, like, comment, and subscribe, and bye for now, everyone. So, and